Hello, Africa. Happy New Year. Assalamu alaikum. Or is it Kayfa Halak if you are in the north of the continent? Hujambo if you are in the east of the continent. Dumela if you are down south. A very good evening and a warm welcome to the first edition of Bottomline Africa, at least this year, that is 2018. My name is Yusuf Ibrahim. And we begin our program tonight when there's a growing disquiet among African countries over US President Donald Trump's comments or remarks. I'm not going to say that Kenya is a very conservative country. Now, Ghana's president has called the purported comments unacceptable, while Namibia, whose name Trump had difficulty pronouncing just last year, said the remarks had, quote-unquote, no place in diplomatic discourse. So the question is, will Trump remarks strain relations between Africa and the US? We have experts in studio already. Abilo Yeyo is an international relations expert. We have Hassan Kuchore, who is a political analyst, as well as Nakia White, who is a crisis management communications expert. But before I engage them, let's take a look at Africa in 60 seconds. Standing on guard, Kenya marks second anniversary of the LRD attack amid high alert. You're either with us or against us. Liberia's ruling party expels outgoing President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Burundi's vice president speaks ahead of new round of talks aimed at ending Burundi's political crisis. And in our discussion tonight, we'll focus on the US-Africa relations after remarks by President Trump. Of course, we'll have a story in line with that anniversary, the LRD anniversary. Of course, Kenya marks 2 years since that attack. Casualty details are yet to be fully released. Still have very scanty information with regards to those who have disappeared. So basically, there's nothing much to report about that incident. Our reporter Trix Sengando has spoken to some of the family members who are yet to come to terms with that attack. But first, let's go straight to a Twitter poll tonight, and we are asking you, do you think Donald Trump's comment will strain US-Africa relation? Do you believe Donald Trump's comment will strain US-Africa relation? He has referred to the black population, by extension African countries, as, okay, I'm tempted to mention that word. He has referred to these countries as shithole. So I'd like to hear your view, and remember our hashtag is Bottomline Africa. Our Twitter handle is at KTN News. You can as well tweet me at Yusuf Ibra. And I'm going to make sure I go through some of your feedback within these broadcasts. But first, let's begin with our top story tonight. And tonight, or today, marks the second anniversary of an Al-Shabaab militant attack on Kenyan-run military camp in El Ade, that is in Somalia. It was an attack that left hundreds of Kenyan soldiers dead, many others injured, and others missing in action. We spoke to a number of families of those left behind, and here is what they had to say.
But I really thank my brother. He stood with me. When I called him, I told him, there is an attack that has happened. And my husband was in that place. The only thing he told me, just have courage. And then the next day, he came. Among the family members, he was the first person to come where I was.
Akasema wako wanne mahali walitorokea mahali inaitwa Lakole. Na kile ambacho walikuwa nataka ni msaada. Kwa sababu mahali walikuwa ni ngumu, walikuwa nataka msaada. Sisi tukapiga simu Nairobi kwa jeshi tukiwaambia mahali hawa wako.
Kila mwezi tarehe 15 huwa silali hiyo siku. Huwa inanitesa sana.
Of course, our reporter Trix Sengando has an interview in line with that story. We're going to air it within this program. But for now, let's cross over to the west of the continent, where Boko Haram have released a new video purporting to show at least 14 of the schoolgirls abducted from the northeast Nigerian town of Chibok in April 2014. Now, the 20-minute-long video is the first since May last year, when a woman claiming to be one of the 219 schoolgirls was seen holding a gun and also refusing to return to her parents. Now, a total of 107 girls have now been either found, rescued or released as part of government negotiations with a terrorist group. Now, the Chibok abductees are among thousands of women, girls and boys kidnapped during the conflict, which began in the year 2009 and has killed at least 20,000 people and displaced more than 2.6 million. Now, the Democratic Republic of Congo is racing to contain a cholera outbreak that has swept through villages ravaged by conflict and is now spreading quickly in the capital. Now, stretched resources, an urban spread, poor sanitation and unmanaged waste in densely populated Kinshasa made worse by devastating floods that claimed the lives of at least 48 people in a week means cholera is gathering pace in the capital city of almost 12 million people. Now, the disease has killed 28 people and infected 411 in Kinshasa alone since the end of November. The government has opened free treatment centers throughout the city with efforts to isolate patients to keep the disease from spreading.
The response to the cholera outbreak is complicated further by the ongoing humanitarian crisis in the DRC. There are about 4.5 million internally displaced people as of the end of December 2017, the largest IDP population in any single country in Africa.
What is important at our level is to follow the situation in relation to public health. So in terms of public health, there are 35 health districts within Kinshasa. And therefore, our battle here is to put all the health districts, all the executive teams from the provincial health divisions on maximum alert. Because with the floods, the strong rains and all that we must absolutely contain.
Over to Liberia, and the ruling party there has expelled outgoing President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, now saying she violated the party's rules by not supporting its candidate who was defeated in last month's presidential election. Now, the Unity Party's executive committee voted on Saturday to expel Johnson Sirleaf because she campaigned apparently against Vice President Joseph Boakai in the election. According to an email statement from the party, 3 other party officials were also expelled. Meanwhile, Sirleaf's main spokesman, Gerald Paya, said her purported expulsion was quote-unquote illegal and not in conformity with party rules and regulations.
Thank you so much.
In the thinking of the office of the president, the pronounced expulsion is now one that she's going to run around utilizing her time and energy about, because it's an illegal act. You know, right now we are on the verge of concluding the transition process, and that is where the president's attention and focus is. The president remains a member of the Unity Party, and after the transition period, party issues will be treated as party issues.
Now, Congolese troops began a military offensive in the eastern city of Beni on Saturday against the Allied Democratic Forces, well known as ADF, a Ugandan rebel armed group blamed for an attack that killed 15 UN peacekeepers last month. Now, the operation is part of a joint effort by the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda against the group after the suspected ADF attack on a base manned by Tanzanian peacekeeping troops. Now, Congolese authorities and the United Nations mission in DR Congo, MONUSCO, accused the group of killing more than 700 civilians, as well as combatants in the Beni region since the year 2014.
Your helicopter, God has destroyed it. Your armored vehicles that Cameroon brought and all others have been destroyed by God. That included your people that died, and you have withdrawn.
les forces armées de la République démocratique du Congo.
You saw how our members successfully detonated bombs. We shall continue to destroy you people. I send this message today, Sunday 1st, in the month of Rabiul Thani. May God protect our members anywhere they are.
Now, over to the north of the continent, and Tunisians on Sunday marked 7 years since the uprising that launched the Arab Spring with fresh protest after days of unrest over persisting poverty and unemployment. Now, hundreds gathered in the capital, Tunis, responding to calls to protest from a powerful labor union and several political parties. Security was tight as protesters poured through checkpoints into the capital's Habib Bourguiba Avenue, which was the epicenter of the 2011 protest. The North African country is seen as having had a relatively smooth democratic transition since the January 14, 2011 toppling of President Zain El Abidine Ben Ali after 23 years in power.